Hey everybody, this is Emily. So I'm going to talk to you about different types of leadership styles for this blog post. According to Markey and Houston, there are three different main types of leadership styles. There's authoritarian, there is democratic, and laissez-faire. And to describe them a little bit more, the authoritarian leadership style is one where you see a very clear hierarchy. Um, Basically, there's really going to be one person or one group that is dictating to the rest of the people what to do. So the type of communication is really a one-way street. It flows downwards, and it's not there's it's more punitive criticism that you're going to see coming from this type of leadership style. The motivations that this type of leader would use would be more commanding or more coercive. So it's extremely controlling. The second one is democratic, and you're going to see this a lot more in healthcare. And in the democratic leadership style, again, it's less controlling than the authoritarian, but there's still some. And the motivators that this type of leader would use would be more economic or ego related. So you're more likely to see money incentives, bonuses, things like that, or recognition. Like, for example, in my hospital, if you do something that's a little bit more above and beyond, the manager can fill out a thank you card that when it's presented to the dining, you get a free coffee, which is nice. And so those are the motivators. The type of communication that happens in this leadership style is really more, it's a two-way street. It's up and down. So that means that there is going to be communication and brainstorming between both the leaders and the subordinates. And this type of leader is more likely to give constructive criticism, and so there's a little bit more self motivation with this type of leadership style. The last one is laissez faire, which I kind of find it interesting that one would call it a leadership style because there's little to no control from the leader. It's very hands off, and only the only support that is given to the subordinates is if it's asked for or requested. But there is still the same upward downward communication. But there's no criticism. It's like the leader's just there, but this really works well when you have a group of highly motivated and self-directed individuals. So there's very much a group emphasis, not a me or you emphasis. It's like a hive mind, I'd like to think. Um, so as far as which leadership style would be the best for enhancing motivation and communication, I would have to say would be the democratic. Again, because each, subordinates and leaders, they are communicating with each other. It's like a teamwork to figure out what works, what doesn't, and there's a lot of listening that happens. Like, so for example, in my organization, in my hospital, our director came to us when there was a huge budget crunch, and she asked us to come up with ways to figure out, how to save money. And one of the things that we came up with was getting rid of all our styrofoam cups and just going with washable cups from dietary, and that actually ended up saving us quite a bit of money. Another one was we decided not to order pens because we were using $200 worth of pens every week. Don't ask me how. Again, that's the best one, I feel, because with the authoritarian, there is no self motivation, no nothing. It's you do what you're told. And the laissez faire, there's just no direction at all. So, what are some, let's see, and the leadership style that has the most negative effect on motivation and communication, again, is the authoritarian one for reasons that I just said. So, what are some of the effects of positive motivation and increased communication on quality of care? Well, I ended up reading an article called Positive Practice Environments for Healthcare Professionals. Found that on a website, and there was a whole list of positive things. But to boil it down to four top ones was that you know, good motivation and communication positively impacts patient outcomes. So that means you're likely to see a lower mortality rate, fewer falls, fewer skin issues, you know, things like that. So win, 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 win. It also increases cost effectiveness, which means that you know, if you've got good communication, you're likely to save the organization more money. Another one would be a higher employee retention rate, and the last one is increased satisfaction of workers. So what's nice is, like I said, you're going to see more nurses hanging around longer, and they're going to be gathering more knowledge. So you're going to have more experienced nurses taking care of your patients. So again, that kind of falls back, you know, under the improved patient outcomes. And to hopefully that answers all the questions. And these are my references. I wrote them down just to, because I didn't know where else to put them, but there they are. And those are my notes. Thank you all for watching.